Our research is about the knowledge economy and how knowledge-intensive firms locate, what are the locational requirements, and how the value chain that finally creates knowledge, that creates innovation, is organized across space. So our approach comes from a micro foundation, how firms behave and locate, and households, knowledge-intensive workers. And we are interested in how these locational choices for residences, for firm locations, and for reorganizing the spatial division of labor is changing over time. So it has to do about creating knowledge, the increasing share of the knowledge economy, creating overall growth and wealth for a country, and the structural change that finally impacts certain regions and the urban or regional fabric at large. There are some challenges. I mean, I just came from a very nice keynote speak by the director of the DG Regio of the European Commission and the representative of OECD. Obviously, there is the question of some levels of inequality that are increasing, not on a general level, but certain levels of inequalities increase between the lagging region, between the frontier regions, but also inequality is an issue on different spatial scales. On certain scales, on the neighborhood scale, it may be very different, and on an urban scale, on an agglomeration scale, it's very different than on a national scale. So the issues to tackle these levels of inequality and decrease inequality and make it more integrated for the overall development is, of course, an issue that we have to tackle from regional science, but it is something that we cannot, let's say, even analyze ourselves, because there is other things implicated. It has to do with governance, it has to do with social issues, educational, vocational training. So basically we have to stretch out our hands, intellectual hands, to other disciplines, and basically it's an issue of interdisciplinary research. And I think there, ERSA, or regional science in general, is not very well off in comparison to other areas. For example, if I look at urbanism, at urban and the regional planning, where we have much more interdisciplinary research and exchange with practice on practitioners on different levels. Well, originally I'm trained as an economist. I did my PhD in innovation research and policy for innovation policy for small and medium-sized enterprises. And if you look at how innovation is being generated, created, then of course you understand it's an uneven process. I talk about uneven spatial development, and then you understand that there is obviously stronger regions, there is even stronger urbanized areas which have a much higher rate of research and development expenditures, a higher rate of innovativeness, and then you begin to understand and to ask yourself, why is this like it is? And how does it change over time? And there is certain areas have a certain persistency in being innovative and being frontier urban areas or not. And so I got into more the regional question, and then I started in the year 2000 at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich in the Department of Architecture, taking up a position as an associate professor for regional and urban development. And so I was introduced to thinking of the architects, and of course architects are the only discipline basically in all our academic system that are training to integrate, to synthesize seemingly unconnected information and to design a project, to design a solution. So that's why I love working with architects, with the good architects, and good architects love to work with good regional scientists. I think this is one of the main challenges. So the ERSA conference to me was my first international conference that I attended, and it was in 1994 in Groningen here. And actually, ever since I'm a regular participant at the ERSA conferences. But since 2004, I also participate at the annual meeting of the American Association of Geographers, which of course is tenfold larger than the ERSA, but has also this quality of being more diverse. So versatility, diversity, being open to other paradigms, which I sense it's more or less deteriorating at ERSA. So it's going into a more mainstream paradigm of econometricians, of a standard economic simulation approach, which to my mind is very nice, but it's in terms of interdisciplinary research not very helpful. So that is one of the biggest challenge for ERSA, to rethink its role, and not only to team up like today with big government and big science and big business, but talk about community science, citizen science, talk about the practitioners that are on the municipal level. That's never an issue on these large panels where we always team up with big government in Paris and in Brussels and in Luxembourg. Well, I started coming to the ERSA Congress because of three reasons, basically. First, it's always networking. So you meet people that you maybe only have heard of through papers. So as a young scientist, you sometimes admire them, you want to see them in person, and then you're there asking them something, and then all of a sudden you see it's a similar person of blood and flesh like me. And so that's networking that goes on and on. The second one is, of course, a marketplace. So you find interesting ideas, you can exchange ideas. In the best of cases, you get nice replies and answers and questions to your presentations. And the third issue is, of course, also attending an ERSA conference when it's located in a nice place. So the touristic aspect has not to be underestimated. I think if you do an analysis of attendance and the quality of locations, then there's a kind of a positive correlation of the turnout.